Let's go over the best and most fun teams and players to build around in College Football 25 Dynasty. Enjoying the content so far, make sure y'all like, comment, subscribe, all that, man. Appreciate y'all for watching. We've been going crazy on the channel. Appreciate the support. The first team I want to talk about is going to be TCU, man, the Horned Frogs. This is a team that was in the national championship about 2 years ago. Last year they had a losing record. They wasn't a good team. You know, they lost a lot of their starting players. But this year, man, they're in an interesting spot. They're listed as a 3.5-star program. But you come in here and look at that roster, man, they got a little fun offense. I can't lie, man. They got a true freshman quarterback who has some speed on him, man. He's a scrambling archetype. He's a 4-star coming out of high school. He got the star development. Let me move my camera so y'all are able to see that. Got that star development. So, you know, he's going to become a pretty good player as well when you look at his caps. He don't have many rating caps, man. Only, you know, on accuracy and IQ. He could become an elite player if you develop him. You know, if you pick this team to build around, you know, pick this player, I should say, you know, start him day one. He could turn into an excellent player. You could win a Heisman with him. You could go crazy. And you look at their whole offense. You know, they got some pieces on offense. On the defensive side, you'll see, you know, you might want to do some rebuilding. But they got a running back, 82 overall. He's a true sophomore. That's another good player. Wide receiver room, they got some older guys, but they got some talent, man. They got some talent in that wide receiver room. Should be able to put up some numbers. You're going to have to recruit wide receiver, though. Outside of, you know, them seniors, you know, it's not looking too good. But, you know, obviously this is not a great program. This is not a great team. This is a team that, you know, you could rebuild within about 3 years, 2 years, something along them lines. You look at the O-line, also not in a great spot, you know, mid-70s, and then also a lot of these guys are older. So, you know, it's still some rebuilding to be done, but you do have some players that build around on the offensive end, and that's good to see, man. The defense, like I said, nothing to write home about on this defense. You know, got some other older guys, some seniors, you know, nothing too crazy here. A lot of, look, cornerback room, you're going to have to rebuild ASAP. ASAP, you're going to have to rebuild this cornerback room. A lot of older guys. But I think this could be a fun one, man, especially when you consider the quarterback. You don't have to worry about bringing in the quarterback, man. You don't have to worry about a running back for a while. You know, those positions are taken care of. The most important position on the field, you don't have to worry about at all. Next, let's come over here to Florida State. And obviously, they're not having a good season, man. They are not having a good season. DJU, he's not it, man. He's not it so far throughout his career. He's been in college football, which seems to be forever, and he is not it at the current moment, man. I believe they're like 1-4, 1-3, something along them lines. But you got Luke. You got Luke behind them, and he could become a player, man. I suggest if you take over this Florida State team, start him day one. You know, he don't have much speed, but he is a 4-star, also got that star development trait. And look at his rating caps. He could also become a very elite player if you develop him. If you start him day one, get some good stats, he's going to become a baller. But this is a better roster, man. This is a 4-star program. This is a little bit of a better roster than the last school. They got the deep running back room. They even got freshman Cam Davis in there, 78 overall coming out of high school. Another player that don't have many rating caps at all. So he can also become a very elite player if you use him early. The wide receiver room, listen, nothing to write home about, but you do have some speed, man. You do have a young dog, Jaylen Brown, with some speed in that wide receiver room. And even the tight end, man, you got a tough tight end. 85 speed, 75 overall freshman, and he got catching, man, and he got the hands. He got the highest catching rating on the team. You got some players on this offense, man. This is going to be another fun rebuild overall. Even our O-line is also in a pretty solid spot. They got some depth. Like I said, this is just going to be a better overall roster. This is probably going to be a quicker rebuild than pretty much the last school that we showed. But the whole concept about this, you taking over a team that's struggling in real life and you turn them around, man. And like I said, you could win a national championship with this team. I'd probably say 2-3 years. If you really like the sticks, you might be able to win it year one. But I think this also could be a very fun rebuild. You got some players on the defense side of the ball. 5-star Charles Lester, 5-star cornerback. For here they only got him listed as a 4-star. He's a 5-star in real life, man. Don't have many rating caps either. He could become a very good player. Like I said, I don't know why they got him listed as a 4-star. I'm not sure what website they went off, but he is another good player to build around. Even their safety. Listen, this is a good team to build around. Let's stay in Florida and move over to the University of Florida and look at the Gators here, man. This is going to be a good team to build around. Again, for that quarterback play, you got DJ Lagway. If y'all know anything about this guy, 5-star quarterback coming out of high school. I believe he was ranked the #1 player in the class. Like I said, 5-star. I don't know why he got that impact development trait, man. I know development trait, not to say all be all, but you expect him to at least have star or elite. Rating caps are also in a good spot. He could become a good player. You know, maybe you want to start Graham Merckx, red shirt DJ. You know, I don't suggest that. I suggest you starting DJ right away, but this could also be another fun rebuild. But like I said, this is one you're starting at the top, man. You're starting with a great program that's already bringing in very good recruiting classes. You're going to be a good roster, man, but you are in the SEC, which is going to be challenging to play. You're going to be playing good schools every week. They also got an 86 overall sophomore wide receiver who will become a great player for you, man. Will also become, you know, a great player for you if you could continue to develop him. Their tight ends, they got some young guys. O-line, you're going to have to rebuild the O-line a little bit, man. Going to have to rebuild that O-line. It's not in a great spot, but it shouldn't be too tough. The defense, they got some young guys, man. They got some young guys. 82 overall, true sophomore. D-tackle room, you're going to have to rebuild that. They only got 3 guys in there, and 2 of them are seniors. But linebackers, they got some young dogs, man. 2 freshmen here, both 78 overalls at the middle linebacker. And then they got some true sophomores starting at both the outside linebackers. Cornerbacks, they also got some young guys, man. Cormani McClain, the transfer from Colorado. He was over there with Dion. Real life, he's not playing. Real life, he's not even listed on their depth chart. Not sure what's going on with him, man. Not sure what's going on with him at all. But he is on this roster for now. And, you know, he's an 82 overall. And he also, you know, got some elite development trait. And then also rating caps are also in a great spot. So he could become a great player in game, you know, regardless of, you know, what he got going on in real life. Then also looking at free safety. Listen, this is going to be a good team to rebuild. It's just going to be more on the easier side. We're going to get more into some of the tougher rebuilds later in the video. Next, I want to look at Boise State, man. And it's not just because their star running back, Genty, that's having a crazy year. Listen, it's not just because of him. You know, I've been on this school radar for a while. Mainly because they got Malachi Nelson, man. He's a transfer. He came over from UFC. 5-star coming out of high school, man. 5-star recruit. Elite development trait. You look at his rating caps, none. He don't have 1 rating cap. He could become, you know, whatever you want him to be, no Diddy. He could become a great player, man. You know, in real life, they don't have him starting. They got this guy starting over him, which is fine. In the game, I don't know. I'm starting Malachi Nelson day one, especially when you look at, you know, his speed, his throw power, even his throw accuracies are pretty much better. Medium is better. You know, I'm starting Malachi day one, and then also you come to the running back room. You got a dog. You got maybe one of the most fun players to watch in college football right now. And then also, you know, he don't have many rating caps. If you somehow convince him to come back for his senior year, you know, if you somehow do that, you're looking at a 99 overall player his senior year. And then also just looking at the overall roster, you got some dogs, man. This is a G5 school, so you're going to have to rebuild it. You're not going to be able to compete day one for a national championship. You know, you're going to have to do a little bit of rebuild, especially on that O-line. They do have some dogs on the defense, man. Here and there, they do have some dogs. But like I said, this is going to be more of a tougher rebuild. Shouldn't be too challenging when you already got a key quarterback. You know, you got the most important position taken care of. But, you just got to fill around them. So I think this would be a fun school to rebuild. All right, next, let's come over here to Michigan and talk about Michigan State. They got a quarterback, man, young guy, Aiden Childs, transferred over to Michigan State this year. And he's a good player, man. He's a good player. He's 80 overall as a true sophomore, 4-star coming out of high school. He does have that star development trait. Then you look at his rating caps. Same thing as Malachi. No rating caps at all, man. He could become a phenomenal player if you develop him properly and, have some crazy seasons with him. Now, the rest of the roster is a little bit shaky. They listed as an 84 overall. They are a 3-star program. But I would claim this roster a little bit shaky. They do have another true freshman at wide receiver, 78 overall. This is going to be a good player, man. Nick Marsh will be a good player for you. Also don't have many rating caps. He only has 1. So also could become a very elite player on your team. But the O-line is not in a great position. They do have a star tight end that you could rely on. But they do have some young guys on the O-line. They got a 4-star left tackle that I would recommend getting on the field ASAP. They have a star center. Outside of that, everyone else is in the 70s, man. So this is going to be a rebuild. This is not going to be a day one takeover. Whole D-line is in the mid-70s. Linebacker core, they got some middle linebackers, but they're both on the older side. So they're listed as an 84 overall program, but I don't think they are 84, man. I think they're a little bit worse than that. I think this would be a fun rebuild, but also challenging, man. You got a lot of older guys that, that are good, but they're older. So you're going to have to bring in guys at key positions, but you do have a quarterback taken care of, and, you do have a star wide receiver and a star left tackle, man. That's kind of like that nice trio on the offense. Let's come over here and look at South Carolina. It's also going to be a better program, man. 4-star prestige. They got Sellers as their starting quarterback. He's a redshirt freshman, excuse me. He got some speed on him, man. He could also become a pretty good player. His rating caps are pretty good. They also have some running backs. They all are seniors. So just keep that in mind. You're going to have to bring in another running back here shortly. But in the wide receiver room, they also got some dogs, man. They got Bennett, Nick Harbor, if you heard anything about him with that 99 speed, he's 6'5", man. 6'5", 235 pounds. That's a big dog, man. That's a big dog for sure. And then even on the O-line, they have a true freshman at left tackle. Then they have a true sophomore behind him at left tackle. Both of these guys can play, man. You can move these guys around. You're pretty good on the O-line, man. You're in a good spot. You got some seniors, but like I say, you got some young dogs that you can move around that you get playing time and develop. And then Dylan Stewart, man, a dog. He's a true freshman in real life, and he's an 87 overall in the game. After the update, they boosting him up. He's having a pretty good year. He's 6'5", 245 pounds. He really like 6'6", 255 in real life. But he a dog, man. This is definitely a player to build around. You coming in as a freshman, as an 87 overall, like by your senior year, you got to reach a 99. If you even make it to your senior year, you might just leave for the NFL. But that's another great player, man. Another player to build around. The rest of their defense is okay. Nothing to write home about. But on those kind of key players you want to build around. The last school I'm going to touch on is going to be Nebraska. Listen, they got Dylan Raiola, the 5-star quarterback, and he balling, man. He having himself a pretty good season so far. He went up to an 82 overall, and he's a good player, man. He's a good player. Definitely a player to build around. They try and turn Nebraska around. They were ranked at some point this season, but I believe they ended up losing to Illinois, and then he pretty much dropped off. You do have a sophomore running back, 81 overall. You got a senior as the starting guy. And you got some other guys down here as well that's on the younger side that you can get into the running back room. Wide receiver, they got some seniors, but the young guys they do have are fast, man. 80 overall with the 96 speeds and 76 overall with the 97 speed. They got some young fast guys in that room, man. Don't sleep on that. And then also tight end is going to be solid. Overall, this is a solid, pretty good team, man. Pretty good team. As you even got a guy from Philadelphia, man. Shout out to my main man right here from Philadelphia, PA, man. Shout out to my guy. But no, pretty good team to build around, man. You build main attraction is that quarterback position, and then also turning the program around, getting the program back to where they used to be back in the heydays when they was winning national championships. So that's kind of the main lore of this program. All right, so that's all I got for y'all. It's a bunch of programs I could have thrown in here, man. North Illinois, Kansas State, man. A bunch of different programs I could have thrown in here, but this is the list I decided to go with. Let me know who else should be on this list, man. Let me know down in the comments. But other than that, appreciate y'all for watching. Like, comment, subscribe. Check out my channel. We on to the next one.